Hello, and you've got it tuned to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. And I'm Joe Thomas. I'm your host today with my lovely daughter, Jenny Thomas.
Yes, hello.
Okay, so today, Jenny, as many times as I've spoken with you and other shows about simple steps to retiring, which is today's show, I want to start it over. The new year is coming, and I thought it would be a good idea to talk about steps to retiring. Simple steps.
Simple steps.
Yeah, because, it's really about getting from point A to point B. I always say that on the show. Mm-hmm. And one of the things, what I mean with that is just figuring out how to start.
Right, exactly.
And it starts with a yellow pad. I always have a yellow pad no matter where I go. I tell my wife all the time, Lynn, your mom, I'll say, listen, write it down. If you write it down, you're going to be so much better off than not writing it down. And it's the same steps with retiring.
Well, these yellow pads, you've been using them since I was a kid.
There you go. It works, So number one, get out of debt before you retire, or before you start savings and an investing plan. Get out of debt first, so you know how much money you have in the bank, whether the bank is an investment or whatever it is.
Right.
You got to get out of debt first. One of the questions I always have with that, and I got it today and the other day, same question always comes up: should I pay my house off?
We get that a lot.
Yeah, and the number one answer to that is you pay your mortgage off if you can. If you want to, and your wife wants to, and you decide, hey, I want to pay my mortgage off. And the reason you may do that is you can save more then. But
Right.
I always tell people, if money's cheap, like I had the guy on this phone this morning, and he said, look, I'm only paying 3% interest on my mortgage. He's got a 30-year mortgage at 3%. And he said I was earning 5% at the bank. Mm-hmm. So he's making 2%, and he's got the tax deduction on the mortgage interest, which means his net number, he's probably getting 6% or whatever. So it depends whether you should pay off your house. Does that make sense?
That makes sense. What about credit card debt?
Pay it off.
Pay it off first.
So for years, I would go to clients, and mainly younger clients years ago when we were doing that kind of, advising, and I would say to them, they'd say, hey, Joe, we've got $10,000 to invest. I said, that's great. I go, how much? And I go, you want to earn some money? They go, yeah. I go, well, how much debt do you have? They go, oh, we got some credit cards, and we have I say, how much you owe? Oh, about $10,000. I go, you want to make 30% in your money? They go, yeah. How do we do that? Take the $10,000 that you're going to invest with me and pay your credit cards off, and you're going to make 30%. Now, I'm being a little facetious on the number. Maybe it's 28, maybe it's 25, but you can't earn 25% interest. Not possible, right?
Right.
So it's an easy way to get out of debt and manage your money. Pay off the credit cards.
Right. What do you think about Dave Ramsey and the snowball effect, where you pay the smallest debt off first and then you save the ones for
whatever works. You know, I mean, it's there's the reason I'm talking about these simple steps is because this is things I've done for myself. I've done it with you. I've done it with clients many, many times. So number one, get out of debt. Mm-hmm. Number two, you got to know your costs. You got to know your bottom line costs. How much is it costing me to live? How much is it costing for the mortgage, the rent, whatever it may be? Mm-hmm. So you know to a dime how much you have coming in per month, and then you know how much you can invest. Guaranteed income. Let's talk about it for a minute. Mm-hmm. Most people don't understand this, but there's really three sources of guaranteed income. Number one is going to come from Social Security to the penny. You ask anybody that's 62, 65, 67, or 70, they're going to know to the penny how much their Social Security is going to be, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you need to know that number. And then you need to know if you have a pension, that's going to be to the penny how much you get per month for a civil service worker. Now, unfortunately, most people out there don't have a pension plan. So what we offer people is guaranteed income annuities, where they get a guaranteed income stream for the rest of their life that they can't outlive. That's another source of guaranteed income.
Which is exactly how a pension works. You're getting income for the rest of your life.
There you go. So I would also say that, so step one, get out of debt. Step two, know where your costs are and know what your income is. And number three, think about converting some of those not guaranteed income streams into an income stream. So if you have an IRA, a 401k, money in the bank sitting there doing nothing, and you're going to need income, turn it into a guaranteed income stream, which is a guaranteed income annuity.
Right. So if you have a 401k or a lot of people have 403bs, whatever the plan is, a lot of them just sit there for years because they left their employer. And, I was talking to a lady this morning and she said, we got her funds from her 401k account this morning with one of the annuity companies. And she said, Jenny, I feel so much relief. you know, that we got the funds into this annuity and it's going to be giving me guaranteed income for the rest of my life. I don't have to worry.
Right. And that's one thing people should always think about is at this age is protecting your money. Now, some people don't get it, but protecting your money at this age, I always talk about the roller coaster. When I was younger, 15, 16, 20, 25, you love the roller coaster and you're up and down and yay. But equate that to the stock market. Some people don't like being in the stock market anymore. Grandma and grandpa don't go on the roller coaster anymore. No, if they do, they're just having fun.
Or watching the kids.
There you go. The next step, which I think is so important, is make sure that you know where all your money is and what it's doing at all times.
That's a big one.
Yeah. I mean, let me ask you a question. If you let the dog out in the morning to go out in the backyard, usually you remember to let him in, right? I mean,
I hope so.
Right. Otherwise, the dog is gone. Well, it's the same thing with your money. If you forget to, know where your money is and it's just out there running around in the park, you're going to lose your dog. You're going to lose your money. So know where your money is, how much it is, and what it's doing, right?
Exactly.
I mean, this is basic 101. I'm breaking it down. Look, if you're not talking to somebody that lays it out as simple as I am, you need somebody else. We do this show, number one, to give information and education to people who are listening. But number two, to make it simple. This should not be brain surgery. If you're going to somebody and they can't explain to you what you're doing with your money, you need another financial advisor, period. And don't stay with the same person forever. And in fact, I say get 2 or 3 advisors.
Experts in the field.
Yeah. And why? You're going to get different opinions to do different things. If you go to the same person all the time, it's just going to be the same thing over and over, right? Mm-hmm. So understand where your money is, what it's doing, who's managing it, and why you're doing it. What's the goal for that money?
Right. And I think, you talk on this show, the Jupiter Joe Money Show, is because you've done so much work with many, many hundreds of clients over the years.
Thousands, you mean?
Thousands.
Yeah.
And, the way that you speak on the show is how you speak in your book. And I think that's why a lot of people want to get your book, mm-hmm. is because it's simple information and education and simple steps to get you from point A to point B.
It's got to be. I mean, look, have you ever bought a car before, Jenny?
Yes, unfortunately.
Now, it is a tragedy the way they treat you.
It's awful.
It is. If you're financing it, forget it.
Mm-hmm.
It's an experience you don't want to do. In fact, your mother used to come with me for when we first got married years ago. Maybe the first 2 or 3 cars she'd want to see what was about and hear it. Mm-hmm. By the 4th car we bought, she said, "I'm never going with you again." And the reason being is because it's a workout. You got to sit there for 3 hours and negotiate with this guy. You know the number you want to spend, and they want to keep jamming you to make more money. It shouldn't be that hard.
Yeah, a lot of anxiety.
Yeah.
Right.
So, in fact, you called me. I was your phone a friend when you were buying a car. And I said, "Hey, say this number." And as soon as you said that number, they go, "Okay, it's a deal."
Yeah, exactly.
So anyway, the next thing, number 5, I think you need to review these options or ideas with 3 people. Number 1, your spouse. Mm-hmm. Your spouse has to know what you're doing, what you're feeling about retirement, and money in general. The number 1 reason people end up in divorce is, because of money issues, right? Mm-hmm. So number 1, your spouse needs to be involved. Let's hear what their ideas are about their ideas for retirement. Maybe that person wants to go to Italy 4 months out of the year.
Right.
Maybe they want to move to California. You have to be in line with each other. Right?
Yeah, your goals or ideas of what retirement looks like could be a lot different when it's actually coming to fruition.
And do you have enough money to handle these things, whatever that might be? So that's number 1. Number 1 person is your spouse. Number 2 is your accountant. Hopefully you have a good accountant. Hopefully you have an accountant. I try to tell people all the time, an accountant is going to help you. A lot of people do their own taxes today with TurboTax and all that garbage. I don't believe in it. I think you're better off having a person that you can speak with about the tax laws. Now, there's new tax laws with the One Big Beautiful Bill. Mm-hmm. One of those new items is taxes on Social Security. Basically, you're getting a tax deduction in the amount of $6,000 per person, as long as you guys aren't making jointly over $150,000 a year. That's reason enough that you can afford an accountant to help you, okay? Number 3, you need a new financial advisor. I'm going to tell you right now, get a second opinion, get a third opinion, give us a call, go to our website, jupiterjoe.com, and find out what we do and how we can help you. That's important.
Exactly. And I think, you wouldn't be doing annuities if you didn't believe in them.
Mm-hmm.
And, the benefits of the guaranteed income for life. I mean, there's lots of benefits to what you do.
There is. And, we're not going to bore you to death, people. I would say, number one, get a copy of my book. Number two, you can do a Zoom call with me. You could do a personal phone call with me. Start the ball rolling, get some ideas. There's no obligation. There never is. The best option, of course, is sitting in my office. If you're in Florida and you don't mind driving a little bit, come on in my office, sit down and chat with me, get some ideas about how we can turn your money into an income stream for life, which it is all about. Mm-hmm. Retirement is about guaranteed income, unless you have enough money where you don't have to worry about guaranteed income. If you have $5 million in the bank, when I say bank, I mean money, wherever it is,
mm-hmm.
And you have a home on the beach for, $3 million it's paid for, most likely you don't have to worry about income. But if you're in that $250,000 to $1 million range and you're concerned about making sure you can live the life you want to live in retirement, you need to talk to somebody. And hopefully that person is me,
Exactly. And for people just tuning in, this is a Jupiter Joe Money Show. Jupiter Joe is a financial advisor. He's been doing it for over 25 years down here in South Florida. And we're a family and operated business here in South Florida, mm-hmm. and our office is in Jupiter. So we'd love to talk to you. We always answer the phone. A lot of people have a hard time, especially with some of, they might have been with their financial advisor for years and years. And a lot of the times when they call them, it's difficult to actually talk to the advisor. Mm-hmm. And we've heard that from a lot of clients over the years is we answer the phone, you talk to, our clients, and you get, personalized information.
Mm-hmm. So, people today want instant gratification with the advent of the, online services.
AI.
Yeah, AI, your phone, you get, you can find out anything you want in probably 5 seconds on Google, right?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, the financial business has changed just the opposite. Nobody wants to answer the phone. Mm-hmm. No, look, I have nothing against 30-year-olds. I work with a 30-year-old, right?
Right.
Three 30-year-olds, which are my kids. And I understand there's a different, idea today about how things work. I get it. And it was like that for us growing up too. But people that are in the financial business don't necessarily have your best interest in mind. If they don't have the heart of a teacher for you, they don't want to teach you, they don't want to show you, they don't want to lead by example, mm-hmm. maybe it's time to get a different financial advisor. We have done many shows on how to break up with your financial advisor because it's important. A lot of people want to break up with their financial advisor and they don't know how to, right? So we can do that for you very easily.
Yeah, I'm just thinking of one client we had come in, I think a couple years ago, and she said, the reason I came to you, Joe, I heard you on the radio, and I started asking my financial advisor that I've had for years questions, and mm-hmm. he said, you're asking too many questions.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Oh, yeah. And that particular person told us that her financial advisor actually fired her.
Yep.
I mean, shouldn't it be the other way around?
Yeah.
If you're not asking, people apologize to me. I'm sorry I'm asking so many questions, Joe. And I usually say to them, listen, the more questions you ask, the more educated you're going to become about your money. If you're not asking enough questions, I'm going to say, is there an issue? Is there a problem? Because I want you to kind of talk to me about everything. People have said to me complimentarily, they've said, Joe, you're like my priest or my rabbi. And I get a kick out of it. And, on the financial end of things, yeah, I kind of act like that person because I have to. Money's very important and personal. And, I'm here to help you. I'm never here to hurt you in any way. And I'm going to give you the straight scoop on things. Sometimes I don't always make a commission. Let's talk about that for a minute. I'm commission-based, which means that when you purchase an annuity through one of the insurance companies that we recommend, the insurance company pays me out of their pocket, not yours. So we're commission-based. Now, there's all kinds of, I have it in my book, all kinds of financial advisors that are fee-based, commission-based. There's the gamut. Both, I found that this is the best way to run my business. And I always say to people kidding around, I say, well, you can pay me a fee if you want to. And they say, no, that's okay, Joe. I'd rather the insurance company pay you, Right.
Well, why don't we talk about the market for a minute? Because, over the last few weeks, we've had clients who have their money, at risk, either in a 401k, mutual funds, whatever it is. And with the market dropping, people were starting to get worried. They're like, I want to get my money out of this and I want to get into an annuity where I know that, it's going to be guaranteed and it's going to be safe.
Yeah.
How do you think the market's doing now? And, simple steps to retirement, what are some things that people should be thinking about differently?
So the market is very challenging right now. Look, I have money in the market. I upfront tell people about, what kind of assets I have and, real estate, mutual funds, stocks, bonds, whatever it may be, annuities as well. And the market is extremely challenging right now. Yes, there is, the AI move was doing very well the last couple of years, but all of a sudden it's getting challenging. And then you got people like this Michael Burry guy saying, hey, get out of AI, it's going to blow up. And then all of a sudden the market goes down 15, 20%. So it's very challenging, and it's very volatile.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, if you have a 401k or you have an IRA, or you have a 403B or whatever it may be called, you probably don't have much control of what your money's invested in.
Right.
So you're probably in NVIDIA, you're probably in, all the other stocks, the Metas and, AMD, whatever it may be, you're in there whether you want to be or not. And whether it's volatile or not, you usually don't have a choice, because what guys do today is they hit the button. And once they hit that computer button, you're in a big package of stocks. And, years ago, there was something called a mix where you had a 60-40 mix, 60% stocks and 40% bonds. Those days are over. Most people aren't even in bonds. And if you're in bonds, you shouldn't be. I always say, why be in bonds? You can't get a little bit pregnant. What that means is if you're in the market, let's be in the market. Let's take the chance and have an opportunity to earn money. Why are you going to put some of your money in an asset that may not even do well? Start out, you're going to go in the market, be in the market.
Right.
For God's sake,
Well, a lot of people who have a 401k or whatever retirement plan, they have that target fund, the mutual fund that's 2050 or 2040. So that just means it's in a mutual fund in different
asset classes.
Yeah.
And they have found that they don't do as well. Those target date funds actually don't do as well as individual stocks. If you're going to be in the market, people, be directly in the market. Okay. Now, I've done this for years. We used to offer our clients stocks, bonds, mutual funds. We don't do that anymore. We don't have to. We have annuities that can accomplish a lot of these things, but without the risk and with guaranteed features like income, which is a big feature, So I would say for anybody out there, you're thinking about, retiring in the next 1 to 6 months, 6 months to a year. It's time to talk to us. Give us an opportunity to earn your business. Let us show you what we know about retirement planning. Go to our website first. Start with an interview with us. You interview us. You're interviewing me. Feel free to ask me any question. Some people say, I'm sorry, I'm going to ask you this question. How do you get paid? And that's the first question I'd be asking. How do you get paid, Joe? I get a commission based on what you put in, based on the insurance company and the product that we're offering. There's a lot of variety to it, but you don't pay the money out of your pocket, which is nice.
Right. And I think, you encourage people to go get a second, third, fourth opinion. Sure. And a lot of the times you can kind of figure out if somebody is a fit, if an advisor is a fit. So I think a lot of people are looking for that.
Well, and not everybody that walks in our office is going to be our perfect client either. I had a couple in one time, a year ago, just popped in my brain, and very nice people, but they were looking for returns that just aren't even out there. I'm looking for 25% returns and this and that. And I'm like, look, you're in the wrong place. You're not going to this is not high risk. This is low risk, safe, guaranteed. When you have those words, that means that you're not gambling with your money. And too many people gamble with their money today.
Right. And I was just thinking about, annuities, and some people have a variable annuity where that's a big difference between kind of what the annuities we do. And some people might even not realize that they even have an annuity, and then they look at their statement and they see variable or,
Yeah, some people don't even know they have an annuity, period. Right. No less a variable annuity. And it's unfortunate, but variable annuities happen to be one of the most complex of the annuities, and we don't offer them. Okay, I've been licensed to sell them for years and years, but we don't sell them because they're very complex. And by the way, their fees are astronomical. This isn't me talking. Go to FINRA.org, look up variable annuity fees, and you're going to see that the average variable annuity fee is 3.5% a year, whether you make money or you lose money. Our average fees are zero unless you're paying for a rider, an income rider, and that's about 1.25%, most of the fees out there. And when I talk about this stuff, a lot of times we don't talk about specific companies because each product varies and changes depending on which product it is and which company it is. We have different companies that do different things, right?
Exactly. And I found this Fidelity year-end checklist, and the number one thing it has on here is last minute retirement contributions. How important contributions are for retirement.
Yeah.
And, your taxes go down. So, you still have time to make those contributions for 2025.
Yeah. So let's talk about it. A lot of people think that once December 31st comes, there is 31 days this month, right?
There is, yeah.
Yeah, okay, December 31. There are, people think that you can't make any more contributions to your IRA, but you can. Roth or traditional IRA, you can make a contribution all the way up until April 15th and get a deduction for 2025. And what we do with a lot of clients is whether you're doing Roth or you're doing traditional, we'll have you make a contribution this year of $8,000, which is the max for somebody over 50. And for 2026, we'll have you do another $8,600 as soon as January hits. So you're getting $16,600 in your account, earning interest and a tax deduction both for 25 and 26. So these are the things we recommend. And not only that, I know your show, we're going to talk about the Christmas bonus show.
Yep.
And we're going to talk about, bonus annuities. We have bonus annuities that range anywhere from as low as 5% to as high as 25%. And we offer all the companies out there. Let me explain bonuses, folks. We'll give you the biggest bonus there is. You have to understand why they're giving you a bonus and does it benefit you as a client, right?
Right, exactly.
Bonuses are meant to be a teaser to get you involved with the annuity. There are good ones, and I'm not going to say they're bad ones, but they're complicated ones, right? And we like offering the bonuses that are simple. And we'll walk that rope when the time comes when we talk to the clients.
Exactly. And just thinking about couples who, it might be a husband and a wife. The husband might want to retire now, but the wife is still working. And what are some simple steps, or even just one simple step that people who are couples who are trying to retire, one of them, and then, maybe they push off retirement later?
So I get that question a lot, and it's funny because sometimes the wife will come to me and say, "Hey Joe, can you talk my husband into retiring now? I really want to travel. I want to see the grandkids out in San Francisco."
The RV, that's what I remember.
One guy said, "I want to take the RV out. I need my wife to get on board. Can you talk her into retiring?" So it's kind of a situation where it depends on income too.
Definitely.
I had a client a couple of weeks ago we were talking, and the husband has been retired for like the last 2 or 3 years. And the wife still loves work, and she's making more and more money. How can you fault her for that? She's making more and more money, and she's putting more and more money away in her 401k and her IRAs and all this other stuff, and she's putting money in annuities. So she's preparing, And women live longer, so maybe the man should retire first. I don't know. It just depends on what your feelings are towards that.
Well, mom wants you to, keep working and not retire.
Oh, she doesn't want me home. No. My wife does not want me home. No. She likes it by herself with the dog.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. But that's okay. We appreciate that,
This was a great show today. Simple steps for retirement. So thanks for tuning in to the Jupiter Joe Money Show. I'm Jenny Thomas and Jupiter Joe Thomas. If you'd like to book an appointment with Joe, go to jupiterjoe.com or give us a call at the office here, 561-743-0999.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.